This training segment will familiarize you with two low-light building search techniques that can be used with the LE1 flashlight. Because both of these techniques rely on the LE1's mode memory programming option, we'll need to program our LE1 to use mode memory before we get started. To program, we will insert our LE1 into the LE1 smart holster and hold both switches for 5 seconds. Now, the LE1 will turn on in whatever mode was used last, instead of always turning on in high mode, which is the default programming option. The techniques we will be covering are designed to enhance one of the fundamental law enforcement building search practices, which is the act of turning the flashlight on and off while moving. As a police officer, you always have to assume that someone is in the building you are about to search, and that that person is planning some kind of aggressive action towards you when you confront them. So by turning your flashlight on and off during your search, you're able to slightly mask your exact location and direction of movement. The objective of our first technique is to retain as much of our low light adjusted vision as possible by conducting the majority of our search using the LE1's 115 lumen low output mode. Having a very bright flashlight is great, but in some cases it can actually work against you, like when performing a low light building search. Just like a camera, your eyes must expose for a particular brightness level, but the exposure setting of your eyes is not as simple as a camera wheel position. It can take up to 20 to 30 minutes for the chemicals in your eyes to adjust to a dark lit environment. So by conducting the majority of the building search using the LE1's low mode, the entire exposure of your field of vision will be more even, giving you a better chance of seeing potential threats that may come from outside of your immediate spotlight beam. Also, you will retain more of the chemicals in your eyes that are needed for darkness adaptation. If at any reason during our search we find something that requires our full attention or more light, we will be using the 2 or more rapid click sequence of the LE1 to throw the light into high mode. This feature is called Light Now. So let's take a look at this technique in the field and see how it's performed.
Open door right. Police! Clear.
Open door left.
Police! Clear. Open door right. Police! Clear.
As these officers are conducting
Right.
their building search, they're using their
Police!
LE1 to do momentary on and off activations of the light. And they're doing that using the low mode, which is 115 lumens on the LE1. This enables them to retain as much of their dark adjusted vision as possible.
Open door right. Closed door in front. All the way left. Police! Clear.
Closed door right.
Police!
When they find something, they're able
See your
to
hands,
double click the
let me see your
switch on
hands,
the
let me see your hands.
LE1 to enable the LE1 Light Now, which throws the light into high mode so they can address their threat. The second technique we will be covering is called the emboss technique, which stands for momentary bursts of strobe. It's very similar in practice to the technique we just covered, except strobe mode will be used instead of the low mode. The objective of emboss is to enhance that fundamental law enforcement building search practice, which is to conceal your location by turning your flashlight on and off during movement. If someone is in the building hiding and planning some type of aggressive action, the origin of a momentary strobe burst will not only be more difficult to locate, but it will be very disorienting as well. Like with the previous technique, if we ever need more light or attention, we can use the LE1's double-click rapid click sequence to access Light Now. Let's take a look at emboss and see how it's performed.
Police! Police! Clear.
Open door left.
Police! Clear. Open door right. Police! Clear.
Open door right.
Now as these officers are
Police!
moving through their search now, they're using momentary activations of
Open
strobe.
door right. Closed door middle.
The momentary
all the way left.
activations of strobe
Police!
enhance the concealment of their location by turning their light
Clear.
on and off. It also helps disorient the
right.
subject if one should be hiding.
Police!
When they find something,
Let me see your hands! Let
they're
me see
able
your
to
hands!
double
Let me see
click
your
the
hands!
LE1 and put it in high mode so they can address their threat. Emboss also allows some other tactics and techniques to be used as well. Let's take a look at one example. In this example, Officer A will perform a quick peek using a momentary burst of strobe. Officer B will then create some noise and other strobe burst as a distraction. Officer A and B will then enter the room under the cover of darkness and surprise the subject with strobe.